Good afternoon, my name's Roulston. I farm in a property in district of Hillend, which is equal distance between Balclutha and Milton, about 15 k's from each. We farm 400 hectares here of rolling country. We run Perrindale sheep, we've got a Charolais stud, we grow grain, we've got an outdoor piggery with 50 sows, and we also have a small contracting business. This is a third generation farm, and the catchment up here runs into a lake called Lake Tuakatoto at the top of Kaitangata, and the main creek behind us, you can see we've planted it completely off from all through our property, which is 3 kilometres long. So we've used a variety of plantings, and we've managed to get the freshwater crayfish coming back up the stream, which is a major coup, and especially after it started to be killed off by dairying above me. If you take the paddock I'm standing in, this is a twin paddock, and we would lamb generally between 90 to 100 ewes in here at lambing time, and they're all twins. And the creek behind me, we would lose between 6 and 10 lambs a year just born in the creek. And if you multiply that and add it up, it adds up to a lot of money. So by fencing the creek off, you're actually saving money. We've actually improved our management because we can put heifers on one side and bulls on the other side, and it's all double fenced. We've got shelter in the winter time and shade in the summertime. So it's really beneficial. It's not a big cost, and I think that if every farmer did one creek a year, it would make a hell of a lot of difference to farming in this area. Alright, we're standing now in front of our outdoor piggery, in which we run 50 sows, and we basically sell weaners, and you might be able to see some of the pigs running around. It's a nice fine day and they enjoy life. We've noticed the increase in demand as the dairy farming has taken off around this area. So basically we've tried to put a variety of trees. We've even got some fruit trees. We've got a pine nut tree, we've got natives, we've got beech growing around the place, and all different scented poplars that we have that put off a wonderful smell in the springtime. We've also got different flowering trees, flowering cherries, and totally different trees to attract the birds and the bees at different times of the year. So it's amazing what you can do. New Zealand Farm Forestry and the South Otago Farm Forestry have been good advocates, and they certainly give you a lot of help, and there's plenty of people out there that you can ask for assistance or advice, and that's where I go and I ask plenty of people, and it's good being involved in the South Otago Farm Forestry just because of that. The red beech was put in here as a trial just to see how natives would grow. We've got on the other side, we've got black beech, and they're a bit younger but they're growing very well. You can also see a very dense, and it's a very old macrocarpa hedge, and this was put up by my late father. You get likes of a corner in this paddock here, and even up. The shelter value for this paddock is immense, and there's not a breath of wind down in here some days. As you can see, the pasture is good, and you get increased pasture growth behind the trees. There's no doubt about it. The value is immense, and I can't emphasize enough the actual shade in the summertime for stock health, especially on the hot days, and the shelter in the wintertime. And this is where we save a lot of our lambs, is shelter like this. They get up beside it, they don't even know it's blowing or raining. And in fact, a couple of years ago, my forestry consultant come down at lambing time, and we just had quite a decent snowfall, and he said to me, I guess it's not a good day to come and see you. And I said, well, it's not too bad really, because we haven't lost a lamb so far this morning. I said, you just come with me. And the actual snow had blown, but behind the trees was all these big green patches, and all the sheep were cuddled in behind them, and they're all as good as gold. So, you know, trees speak for themselves. What we've done around the farm is take out any marginal land. We've got between 50 and 60 hectares planted out, and what we've tried to do is take any accidents away. So this here, when we're looking over it, was actually quite a steep wee piece, and when you've got people working for you, it doesn't really matter how much you tell them not to go places, they tend to just try it out. So if you've got it fenced off, you actually have a very accident safe farm. Okay, in the background here we've got one of my pine blocks, and I've got a lot of small forestry blocks around the place, scattered around the place, pines, macrocarpa and Douglas fir, and we're going into Leylandi. And these blocks are very beneficial. They actually quite a cash cow. We've harvested some pine blocks and we got $27,000 a hectare, which is good money. And this money is from land that is very marginal. It's usually steep, rocky, it's got gorse in it, so we've taken away that problem. It makes for easy mustering of the paddocks as well. It provides shelter and shade, and so, you know, there's many pluses for putting this marginal ground into trees. I must say that even we've taken out 50 to 60 hectares, we've got a lot of one lane tree lanes around the farm, just purely for shelter. Plus we've taken all the marginal land out. It hasn't decreased the carrying capacity at all. In fact, it's made grass growth better. And it's increased animal health. It makes working here a lot better. It's made management of the farm a hell of a lot easier. Before, if I shifted one paddock of bulls, for instance, I might have to shift 6 other mobs of cattle just to keep them separate. Now I don't have to worry because everything is double fenced. It's got trees in between, and the stock are much happier. And so it's a win-win for planting out trees, planting shelter and planting out your creeks. Alright, so down here we're in a corner of a paddock right down next to my boundary, and we've got Douglas fir over here, and I've got macrocarpas over there. And not only are they providing shelter, but they're providing a good money return. You know, with the help of the Farm Forestry Association, you can go a long way with blocks like this. They're only too happy to advise you on pruning and thinning and help you with your marketing. So, you know, the New Zealand Farm Forestry Association and the local branches, they're very helpful. They're really cost effective. They don't take a lot of money to be a member, and I find it very beneficial. We're overlooking what is my white forest, paper birch, and you're overlooking one of my barley paddocks. And I think this typifies the different colours we have around this farm. And the making trees has done planting them has done a big thing to this farm. It's just changed the whole landscape. It's changed the working environment. It's made it a better safety farm. It's helped the waterways. It's brought up the crayfish. It's provided shelter and shade for the stock, and overall it's increased the value of this farm. And this, now we've won a number of awards. We never set out to win awards when we started planting the trees. We did it for the farm, the environment, and as you can hear, you might not be able to hear, but there's plenty of bird activity in the background, and on a good day that's what I like to hear, and that's what I like to see. This block here was no good for anything else but trees. When you're a farmer, you're only taking care of the land for so long, and somebody else, and we've got to try and leave it in better condition than we find it. And the other thing is that by planting all these trees out, you're going to gain in the capital value of your farm. There's always somebody around that likes trees, and you can keep the forestry rights of the trees, or you can sell the whole lot. And of course now we've got carbon credits, and that's an extra value as well, and nobody 10 years ago would see that coming, but that's been a cash cow for farmers, and I know they're down at the moment, but they'll come back up, and it's money for jam really. So go out there and plant a tree.